Chat, here we go. We have Moxy versus Drowley in a best of 7 with $250 courtesy of me right now. Courtesy of me right now. I'm not sure if Vacanus is here. Vacanus talked to me about setting up a show match between Moxy and Drowley, saying he was willing to put down a prize pool. And if he does never show up, then I'll back the prize pool, no worries. But, okay, there it is. There it is. No need to talk about the prize pool anymore coming from me because Vacanus is going to be the one to drop the $250. He just wants to make sure that it gets into the YouTube video so the YouTube fans can know that he is holding down the scene as well. $250 again from the walking W himself, Vacanus, to see if Moxy can continue his winning streak. He wants to get a winning streak going as long as Zenz is what he said while on stream talking about playing in show matches. And I tell you what, he's got a quality streak going, but it's nowhere near the length that Zen's streak was. So he's got a long, long way to go. But he might be jumping over one of his toughest hurdles right now in Drowley. And you might have noticed that Drowley is playing in whatever this is. A nice Camaro that I'm not sure I've ever seen him play in. But I have seen him dabble in different cars before. So this isn't completely unheard of. He's also been streaming a bunch recently. One in chat if you guys have seen him playing in this car on stream recently. Two, if he has been streaming in the more standard cars. Because it wouldn't surprise me if he's been playing in this car a little bit. I see 1-1, but mostly 2s. So maybe he is just throwing this in for the show match. These guys, okay, Logan is confident. He wants to make sure everyone knows he saw Drowley playing in this car on stream. But either way, Moxy and Drowley just finished a ranked 1v1 in their efforts to warm up for the show match. They played a ranked 1v1. It was very close, but it was slightly in Moxy's favor. That may have inspired his switch into the Camaro. And we'll see if the Camaro can help him get the edge. It didn't seem like he was lost in that match by any means, as it was a 1-goal game. But so far, he has yet to be able to find any offense in the Camaro. Front foot flick from Moxy, and it'll be a 3-0 lead. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before the start of the match, but we'll mention it again now that the YouTube recording has started. Moxy and Drowley have played a lot. Moxy has pretty much played a lot against just about everybody, but specifically Moxy and Drowley played against each other a lot on the come-up when they were both, you know, rising to the top of the one scene. And while Moxy has a good matchup against almost all other top players, including the most famous one, Rawas, which he does have the slight edge over, he does not have the edge over Drowley. In fact, he is heavily down in this rivalry. 3-10 all time, with Drowley with 10 wins. -7 and, you know, plus minus against any player is truly his worst matchup. He has a couple, you know, 1 or 2 losses. He also, I think, is technically, historically losing to Nas, but that one is by 1. And I think maybe a couple other matches from back when he was on the grind up that he actually has some surprising, you know, questionable rivalries. Ones that I think he would clean up if given an opportunity to play them again. But anyways, he's trying to make it 4-10 and slowly work his way back if he can get a best of 7 win against Drowley today. Drowley gonna open his scoring with a long shot. With a touch off the sidewall. Karsten Wellspring. Thank you for the gifted sub. 43 gifted subs total to the channel now. You guys have been supporting the channel very well during this September. Moxy headed to the ceiling, I thought, for a second there. Just gave up a completely open lane, but he does manage to stop Drowley from scoring off of one touch. And now he's demoed him and bought himself another possession. Moxy in the air, certainly going to go for the bump. Drowley doesn't even really give it his all because he's so worried about not getting demoed. He does not commit to the save, and Moxy goes over the top. Drowley, I don't know how often he's playing in cars like this. Is this hybrid, chat? We need the car knowers. I never claimed to be one, but there's always someone in chat who knows every hitbox. That's a great flick. Oh, it's actually a bit too high. I thought he had it on target. It's Dominus? It's either Dominus or hybrid. Sometimes I get those wrong. I could see it being Dominus. It is pretty flat. So I'm not sure how much Drowley has dabbled in Dominus hitbox, as chat confirms it is indeed Dominus. But I have seen car switch-ups work well for players, especially, you know, when they need a switch-up in play style, just hopping into a new car. All of a sudden, you feel like you can rely on certain things a little bit less, and so you maybe change what you're going to do here and there in specific situations, and next thing you know, you're finding the winning answer when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. But I would say this game has gone much poorer for him than the ranked game they played right before the start of the series, and Drowley is ready to go next. 5-1. Moxy going to start off confidently here in this best of 7. And we'll see if we see the Camaro again for game number 2. Game number 2. It is going to be a Fennec for Drowley. He's had enough of the Camaro. Tried something different. It didn't work. I wonder if has a special place in his heart for presets he used to win the World Championship. Again, I'm sure that... Oh, what a save. I'm sure there's someone in chat who has all of Drowley's presets that he used memorized. I personally do not. This could be one that he used during the World Championship for all I know. Demo. Onto Moxy. Chain dash. Tried to go near post, and he actually got Moxy to own goal it. I don't think it was in until Moxy helped it out. But nice speed from Drowley. Ooh, it's just going to be really tough. It might have been in. If Moxy wasn't there at all, might have been off the opposite post and then in. So tough to blame Moxy. Drowley getting physical. Very rarely does Moxy play a ones game in which his opponent is more physical than he is. Atto, another guy who likes to get his demo game on during 1v1s. But I haven't really seen that as a primary tactic for Drowley. We'll see if he continues to find demolitions as this match goes on. What a save from Moxy. Drowley's going to drop him a what a save as well, but I think there's a world in which... No, there isn't. Did Drowley rush back? I would say he didn't. I would say based on that landing, he didn't. And if he maybe did perfectly rush back, it could have been a little bit closer. But it seemed like he landed and almost just went through the motions. But either way, a great save from Moxy. He's going to earn himself a goal. If there's been one blemish for Moxy during what has been pretty dominant wins in this streak, it's his kickoff hasn't been as consistent as it probably needs to be. In order to keep it going as long as possible, you can't afford to be losing too many kickoffs or not having the kickoff edge over the course of many series. As Moxy trying to chase Drowley down, he's doing his best to avoid and steal boost. He's done a good job taking the midfield 100, popping this one up. And now these two will dance as they try and get a clean possession. Moxy with the boost till now, 40 boost for Drowley. You can watch him as he does his best to hold on to every last bit of it, and then looking for the pre-flip flick as a way to score off of the 20 that he had saved, but shot never on target. He has kept himself on offense though. Now on 0, this is where we saw Feer really struggling, staying in the blue half for extended periods on 0 boost. Moxy did really well to counter that. Drowley gonna play a bit smarter or a bit safer as he backs off as soon as he's out of boost. And again, a flick puts him on 0. Quick recovery, double jump bump. Connects with a demo and gives Moxy the 3-1 lead. Delay wave dash from Drowley. Great save from Moxy. The ability to get this save and still get back to his... This is the nastiest own goal I've ever seen. This is the most insane own goal. This save was unbelievable. To be able to grab the boost and not allow Drowley to get to the ball. And then Moxy stealing double reset wave dash just straight up own goals it. He drops a lag, but I don't know. I guess he was hoping maybe at the end, if he lagged, that he was going to wave dash and cut the ball away from the post. But that was the meckiest own goal we have ever had on the channel. And with zero or light to zero pressure from Drowley as well. Sure, he put the ball on target off the kickoff, but Moxy did the rest. And now an air dribble. Moxy may be a bit in his head, as it's now a tie game. Moxy quickly flicking, worried about an early challenge from Drowley. Drowley gonna pop this and attempt to maybe force the issue slightly with that second 50. Because he's gonna be getting up to that ball so late, not likely to be able to win it. And then also puts himself up in the air to slow his recovery. Moxy will counter, but it's tough. Leaving the ball is probably not the play either. So it comes down to not getting that setup that puts you in that position. Drowley seems to be loving his wall dashes and getting a dunk right on the top of Moxy. How much the wall dash helped him, hard to say, but just going gung-ho straight at Moxy and banking on the fact that Moxy's going to kind of play it safe. Half flip kickoff from Drowley. Moxy is going to try and go the possession game, and he's done a decent job of not allowing Drowley to close the distance and make his possession undesirable. Oftentimes you can do that. You half flip on the kickoff, grab boost, and then if they're going to go back to the back corner, you rush to them. And I've talked about it. It's not the best place to be, to have the ball on the back wall if a defender is right there next to you. It can be tough to get a good dribble going, but Moxy has seen this situation a million times, it seems, in ranked, and knew exactly what to do to cut that ball across his net and away from Drowley. Instead of trying to go straight down the center of the field where it would have been awkward, he instead switches the field and gets himself a nice clean possession, and that might be the possession that wins him the game if he's able to hold this lead. Drowley going to go to the back wall, needs a nice angle double and misses it. Moxy able to clear it away. This should respawn in time for Drowley. In fact, it respawned right on top of him, or right underneath him, I should say. Now he's got 40 seconds. A pop into the air is a decent possession, but couldn't get the kind of movement to make Moxy miss. Moxy's going to miss all on his own, but bait Drowley in potentially. No, this is a nice win for Drowley, and something he can make a shot out of, but just barely misses wide. And that probably ends the game. That was Drowley's last chance. He needed to get it inside the post. He knew it, but instead hit the post and bounced wide. 19 seconds left to go. Kickoff advantage Drowley, I would say, but he actually didn't turn aggressively. You could see Moxy was scared about the aggressive turn, and it wasn't until he noticed that Drowley left the ball did he even stick around. But with a couple seconds left to go, it is going to be 2 straight game wins to open the best of 7 for Moxy, as we head to game number 3. Game number 3. The best game that we have watched of Drowley today against Moxy was the warm-up game. It's not going to show up here on YouTube, but it was us watching Moxy's stream as he played against Drowley in ranked right before the match started. That one finished 6-5 in favor of Moxy. Drowley hasn't been able to keep it that close this time around, and Moxy, what a play, what a save from Drowley to not give up on the shot. A pretty tough angle on the double, and now Moxy has left the net wide open. Drowley will not pass up that opportunity. A Buff Rock, thank you for the gifted sub. contributing to that September hype. Drowley not going to the kickoff. Going to work out better for him this time, as Moxy does not take the ball back into his corner. Drowley does get the first save. Now, a little sorcery on the ground. I think it was Drowley who had the nastiest ground dribble clip I've seen in a long, long time. Included wave dashes like this one. This one was very tame in comparison. He had 360s and multiple wave dashes involved in his last ground dribble clip. This one will be a dash and a cut for a second goal. Has he chased Moxy off the ball enough to score? He has. Moxy worried about slowing down, getting demoed. You could even see that single jump to dodge what he thought was going to be a demo. That's just enough to make it possible for Drowley to cut and score. Drowley in another open field possession. He's going to try and beat Moxy at his game. The top left flick. Moxy does save this one. And has had some solid defense around the net when Drowley has been looking to score off extended possessions. But he's going to be able to do a nice counterattack this time. Or it's not really a counterattack, but he decided to reset his possession. Something that Drowley's very, very willing to do in ones. If he feels like he doesn't like it, he'll take it all the way back to his corner. And Moxy followed him there and then got beat for a 4-0 lead for Drowley. What a turnaround after the start of this series. Drowley missing the back corner might not be enough of a mistake to get punished. Moxy apologizing, maybe for not scoring. Chain dashes from Drowley, pop the ball away. And he is going to let Moxy land without pressure from a position that is pretty tough to control if the opposition does decide to stick around. But like we mentioned, in Moxy's last match against Feer was sticking around every time he possibly could, and it was not working out for him. Drowley, a very clear, different strategy. Ready to leave the moment his boost tank gets too low. But what a nice wave dash pop, but still Moxy's going to make it back in time. Drowley attempting to pop this around. Moxy sacrifices his life. And now an open field dribble. Drowley challenging, and right now it's been mostly fake challenges to scare Moxy out of his carry, his ball carry that he's so good at, and Moxy has played into those fakes so far. Flicking the ball early. We'll see if he ever tries to call the bluff. This time Drowley turns and challenges, so that is the kind of mix-up that's going to keep Moxy on the wrong foot for as long as possible, but that being said, Moxy will still get his goal all the same. This time off a fake to pull Drowley into the air. And Drowley does his best to get some sort of 50 after getting faked, but not good enough to stop the goal. Moxy double jump bump. Drowley saw it. I think we all saw it as a clear option from where he was set up on the field. Nice shot from Drowley. He got a really fortunate bounce here out of the corner. Moxy 50 in it, and that's just straight out to Drowley. Drowley trying to go for a single jump 50 into wave dash, but single jump just a little bit too high, and so flipped out of his wave dash and made it so he couldn't challenge on the corner, which seems like what he was trying to do. Maybe try and go meet Moxy before he could get any sort of setup after the missed flip. Forced to just sit in net and try and react. A little bit of extra float from Drowley as he knew Moxy would be swinging back around for a demo, and now a whiff will be a Moxy goal as he starts creeping back in a game that has been all Drowley at the start. We saw Moxy do this yesterday. stealing away a game that felt like it was for sure his opponent's. This kickoff going to favor Moxy as Drowley turns to shadow. Moxy going for a wave dash cut. Bit of a safer take. Here down 2 with 2 minutes left to go. Drowley forced to play keep away and ends up not being able to get the angle, but he will eventually score. Drowley prioritizing the right thing, which is staying in control of the ball here late in the game, especially when he already has the lead. Does not need that to be on target. Can afford for it to bounce off the back wall as long as he's the next one to it. And there is one of the classic Moxy plays. Not enough to get him a goal, but using that wave dash kickoff for a bump. Does throw Drowley off momentarily. An air dribble and a pre-flip will put it still into the path of Moxy, who is trying to get a one-touch play off the sidewall to take a long shot. Moxy, what a challenge, but not Dr. Known levels like we also saw a couple days ago, stealing the ball out of the corner and finding a way to double it in. It's looking like game number 3 going to go to Drowley. He is not going down without a fight. And he will take one off of Moxy as he gets a nice pre-flip reset just for the fans. Neon Amin, thank you for the 5-month tier 1. Let's go 5 months indeed. Shout out the long time supporting as we head to game number 4. Game 4. Moxy and Drowley. Drowley gonna take the early lead. Able to fight through the wave dash kickoff of Moxy using the side flip, and then actually went back to the same kind of play, a single jump wave dash in order to win the next 50. Here he will mirror with Moxy as he tries to get a soft touch in order to stay in control of the ball. It was never going to be an easy position. You could tell Drowley was kind of mixing up the way he wanted to handle it, as opposed to going to the standard, tap away, give it to the offense, and then accept, that a dog's going to start barking in your room. You can never really know when that's going to happen, so you have to prepare for it at all times. Is that Baby Feer? No, just to be clear, Baby Feer is a human. I am not pulling a fast one on all of you, referring to a dog as Baby Feer. Yeah, that's Canine Fear. That's Yappy Fear. Moxy with a second goal. That's the Yappy one. We have 2 Canine Fears. One of them is especially yappy, though. Drowley gonna equalize off a kickoff win with a side flip flick. By the way, Joe Miga, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you for the 100 bits. That came right in during the dog barks. That's why dog was so excited. He noticed the notification that 100 bits are being donated. Drowley, a standard take here on the dribble. Fairly low boost play, and he is going to do his best to jump off the back wall and make a defensive effort. He did not want to fall off the back wall, so he felt like he had no choice but to jump out early, but Moxy's going to be able to get around that and retake the lead. There is the wave dash kickoff that a lot of people are searching for. The one that Zapatos is often getting as well, just trying to get as low of a 50 into wave dash as possible to have the faster recovery. Drowley going too high, bouncing up, sending himself soaring. Drowley going to start a really slow dribble at ceiling heights. Moxy does such a good job of not allowing his back corner boost to be stolen, which is easier said than done. Of course, all 1v1 players are aware of the fact that, you know, oppositions are going to take shots and then try and go steal boost. But Moxy, pretty much every situation, has such a good answer in how to get the save and win the race to the back corner in order to end possessions, which essentially forces you to get high quality shots every time, because he will not let you keep him in defense for very long. Moxy off the sidewall, stealing resets. Not the best low 50. He is going to pick his own back corner up and challenge before Drowley really is able to collect the ball and start to threaten a shot. That's kind of what we've seen from the last few Drowley possessions, and this one's going to be solid though. Although I think he missed. He should have the follow-up. No! He doesn't! And he gave it to Moxy, and he wants to go next. I was going to try and pause to get there in time, but I couldn't pause before the goal. You do have to have the goal scored on you. I tried to homie him. I tried to, you know, drop the controller and go hit pause as quick as possible, but didn't work out. Game number 4 going to Moxy. Moxy has truly turned around this matchup as far as game number 4, at the very least. We talked about how much Drowley has had the edge here, but Moxy seems confident, and he is currently backing up the talk against everybody he's played against, as he is going to demo Drowley on the back wall and open up the scoring in what could be this final game. Game number 5. Drowley maybe had a chance to score there if he kept that angle on target, but got ahead of himself. At least he got the boost steal, so he's still in a decent position. This boost, though, spawned just a little bit too late. It's definitely there behind him now, but it's not going to matter because he finds a way to roll the ball in, as Moxy probably over-rotates out of the corner is my best guess. Yeah, trying to get back into the net after picking up the back corner. Overshoots the bottom left. Drowley off the back wall. Has the reset. Gonna go wave dash low. Moxy able to defend that and counter back the other way. Every time I see a player go for it, I'm always reminded of how easy Diaz makes it seem to go full field and somehow still shoot crossbar heights. Nice placement from Moxy. It is not easy to go full field, as has been proven many times by very talented players. Diaz just makes it seem that way. Moxy's had a couple pinches in the last few matches. This one's not going to be good enough to come anywhere near scoring. Drowley on the air dribble, wants to go for the bump. Moxy dodges underneath and he gets a save. What a save from Moxy. That ball was going to bounce off the post and in, but not on Moxy's watch. He says, "I'm the king of cringe. You will not cringe me." Moxy to the ceiling. Cannot get this dunk. Drowley demoed as he pre-flips onto the side wall. Moxy has the hook shot. He's going to wait it out to make sure he gets one as strong as possible. And he puts it perfectly top left. Moxy is no doubt in form right now, as he is hitting with precision. Drowley was even given a moment, you know, to respawn as Moxy set up the angle and is still not going to be good enough. The half flip kickoff has gone decent for Drowley. Moxy this time does read it and heads to his back corner. But even then, you know, the last time I think he did lose it. The very first time, he did a good job. I would say he ultimately has lost this one, as Drowley has had the better shot attempts and, of course, eventually did score. I think there's a chance Moxy still could have made this save, but Drowley did force Moxy to lose possession by grabbing the back corner boost and then closing the distance before he can control the ball. Drowley deciding not to shoot on this angle. Instead, just force Moxy up. Moxy had to make a save attempt. Now Drowley can go for a double, and Moxy makes that save. The boost did not respawn for Moxy, and Drowley certainly knows that now, as he sees it showing up behind him. Not going to try and dunk him on this hook shot. Instead, will back off. Now pre-jumping Moxy will go low 50. Drowley never really had a great position here. Moxy did a good job of just continuing the attack, such that Drowley could never really reset, and ultimately makes it possible to just roll the ball in. Moxy to the skies. First touch way wide of the net. Has the reset, but bails off of it and goes for the boost steal. Something that we've seen Moxy do a lot. He is not willing to try and milk out an air dribble. Sorry, I had to do that one for the chat. He always bails out of it and steals boost instead. Or I shouldn't say always, but he knows when to. Instead of trying to stick with it for too long. Drowley chasing Moxy down now. Oh my goodness, he's just going to use some wall dashes to get a goal. We watched that from Moxy's perspective. I did not expect a shot either. But Drowley, oh, he also had way more boost than I thought. I thought for some reason Drowley was low, but clearly he had more than enough. A must-win game for Drowley. Every game must win from him from here on out, as he's going to pre-flip to cut off this angle. Picks up the midfield 100. Will dodge Moxy, but Moxy able to get around and stop the shot. Now Drowley in the air against a low boost defender. First touch reset. 50. Denied. Moxy, what a save. The ability to keep that out is not something you should take lightly. Those 50s around the nets almost always find their way in. But Moxy manages to angle it away and keep his lead with a minute left to go. Drowley not going to have a very threatening shot here on low boost, but he does manage to survive the demo attempt. And now we'll place this one high. Moxy rams into the crossbar to make the first save, and Drowley misses. The net was available in the top right. Had he placed it there, there's nothing Moxy could do about it, but he does miss. And instead, Moxy gets a goal the other way. There's been a couple different times that Drowley's been able to potentially equalize if he could just be precise, and instead has essentially assisted a Moxy goal and put himself in an even bigger hole. Moxy going to make this save, grab the boost. Should be getting a goal, and we'll probably be getting the series. There's the GGs from Drowley and the GGs from Moxy. I was going to say thanks for playing. I didn't want to drop it until the double GGs. But does Moxy have a pogo for us? Pogo? He has 30 seconds to hit one. Celebratory pogo. The pre-wow. Oh, double reset pogo? Hey, I don't think he got the second reset. Oh, he did get the second reset, but he missed. Technically still has 14 seconds if he wants to give it another try. This time, not going for the double reset. Oh, it's ugly, but it's a nice finish. It's technically a pogo. It absolutely is a pogo. He bounces off the ground here. Just doesn't get very high. And then the musty in. I'll make sure that he does not have to go to another kickoff. Nice finish. A series win for Moxy. And $250 from Vakinus. Next match, we might just have to have Vakinus give it to Moxy directly, because he is on fire.